Hey everybody, gas prices here in Los Angeles are just awful. Going into the gas station right now and it's already showing for just the cheapy gas, we're talking, let's see what the sign says over here. It's actually saying, well, let's go up to the pump. That'll probably be the best way. And of course everybody's still buying it. So for just the cheapy stuff, it's $5.53 and it's not going to get any better, folks. So if you're kind of down about that, please stay tuned. I'll give you 5 tips on how to increase your gas mileage and save money at the pump. All right, talk to you soon. Bye. Hey everybody, just looking at gas prices here lately, and wow, they just really keep on going up and up and up. I just took a snapshot a few weeks back, not right now, but you can see the prices there. Now we know as they've gone up since then, but it's unbelievable. But let's talk about that. Let's see if we can't help you actually increase your gas mileage and maybe save you some money. Kind of correlates together there. So I have 5 tips that I have used, and I have got friends to use, and I have one bonus tip at the end of the video. So stay tuned and we'll get going on this. So like I said before, gas prices just keep on screaming up. You walk just about anywhere, and this was some time ago, but look at where it is, and we're talking about gas prices in LA, not in the other places like that. Just as it was creeping up, I kind of gave you the highest at the beginning, but you see it was. But look at diesel right now. Okay, so my first tip is to clean out the clutter in your trunk. I mean, the more weight you put in your car, the less gas mileage you're going to get. Let's just put it that way. Your car is not a truck. If you have a truck, you're probably going to get pretty bad gas mileage. You keep stuff in it. So if you're hauling concrete or you're hauling heavy stuff, it's going to take a toll on your actual gas mileage. I also, would clear it out. And if some people go as far as to, some of my friends were actually going so as far as because they had Auto Club, they even took the spare tire out of their trunk. This is back years ago when gas mileage was just creeping up on $4 and $5 a gallon. Now look at it. The next tip I have for you is not to idle. A lot of the cars nowadays, especially if you get into a hybrid, it has an auto stop and auto restart. So if your car does not have this feature, if you're going to be idling for any period of time, saying you're going to stop, talk to a friend, don't let the car just sit there and idle, because the gas used at idle is actually more a lot of times than actually going down the street. If you're starting up first thing in the morning and you're just letting the car idle to warm up, that's not needed anymore in vehicles. You have electronic ignition system, electronic fuel. It's all computer controlled. Nowadays, you don't need to do that. You need to just start it up, you let it idle for a few minutes, a few seconds, or really not even a few minutes, and get yourself going down the road. Your car is capable of capable of continue to work properly. It's not like in the back in when I was started off, you have to sit there and let it idle and warm up, or else you get a bunch of stumbles. We don't have that problem anymore. And also, talking about the health impacts I have over here too, is anytime you are excessive idling, you're actually let's say you're picking the kids up at the school. You don't need to sit there and idle waiting for them to come out. Just go ahead, roll down the windows. If it's a hot day, you know what? We're saving gas mileage here. We're talking about saving gas mileage. We're not talking about a lot of comfort. comfort right now. But a lot of cars that are hybrid, they actually do not have the engine idling. They use idling when you're sitting there, with the car on, the AC on. It actually uses an electric compressor, so you don't really need it. Only time it comes back on, the engine will come back on, and I'll do another video on this. Is it'll actually take that when the battery goes low, then it'll start it up again. My next tip is to drive at a steady pace, and I'm talking about not accelerating really fast from a stop. To take your time going from a stop. You want to be cautious anyway, so let's take our time. And when you get up to the pace, like looking at speed limits, 25 is 25, and that is the maximum speed limit. It doesn't say you have to drive exactly 25. Don't get me wrong, you can actually be cited for going too slow too, but hey, you keep the speed limits, you save yourself some gas mileage. There's talk about in California bringing down that speed limit from 65 down to 60 right now. Be aware of it. Also, if you actually take and go at a steady pace, you're actually going to be using less fuel that way. But if you're hard accelerating, stop real fast, you're going to wear out the brakes, you're going to use a lot more fuel at the same time. So drive at a steady pace. And of course, let's talk about checking the air pressure, checking and maintaining the air pressure. Your tires are a cushion of the road, and they have a certain amount of traction, actually programmed into them, you might say. Now, if you have low tires, it takes more energy to rotate those tires. But if you're keeping the tires at the prescribed air pressure, now, how do I know what air pressure I need to have in my tires? Don't go by what's on the side of the tire, okay? The side of the tire is telling you the maximum air pressure, not the actual recommended. Now, this will actually change too if you actually change tires out and go to maybe a larger rim or something like that. So anytime you do any modifications, that will actually change it too. And I'll put on another video of other things that you can do to help save gas mileage too. But checking your air pressure. Now, how often should you check your air pressure? I actually check the air pressure every time I go fill up at the gas station. You can lose 2 pounds of air pressure a month. And that's normal because unless you're running a nitrogen type tire, it's normal because air tends to go to the easiest place out. And it can't happen through the valve stems from the bead that it actually seats up to. So these are normal, conditions that you might come across. So checking air pressure. Also in the state of California, the California Air Resources Board put out a actual document saying for technicians that they were required to check the air pressure on vehicles that come in for service. And it doesn't matter if they come in for a light bulb or if they come in from a complete overhaul. They are supposed to document on the work order the air pressure coming in and the air pressure going out. Well, the air pressure going out more so. The only exception is if they don't have a supply of nitrogen. If you're running nitrogen in your tires instead of regular air, then that would be the exception if the shop doesn't have nitrogen. Okay, regular maintenance, what can I say? If you change your oil on time, you make sure you get a regular maintenance schedule, your car is going to last longer. That's going to be a lot better on mileage. Let's just put it out there. Now, how often should I check? How often should I change the oil in my car and do regular maintenance? We're not just talking about oil changes. We're talking about if you have transmission fluid that needs to be changed, the brake fluid, and this is more of a safety top part, and I'll put a video together on the brakes. But there's that, and also if you put the correct oil into, I want to make that very clear. If you put the wrong oil in, it can actually cause problems. It could be a matter of friction. It could be a matter of restriction too. And what I mean by that is if your car, let's say, requires a 5W20, and you're saying, you know what, I've always run 20 W50. That's a thicker oil. And then you got to think about how the vehicle or the engine has to overcome that. That's going to decrease your gas mileage, and it could increase the emission output in your car too. So the correct oil, which I'll put together all about oils as we go along, the correct oil is really important when it comes to actually getting the correct mileage out of your car. And my last little extra tip here is, hey, if you don't need to drive your car, go for a walk. I have a neighbor, well, and she actually moved, actually I moved on, but my neighbor, she would actually take out her car every morning, a big old Buick, and she'd run down to the 7-Eleven, which is less than half a mile away, and she'd go down and get her a cup of coffee and then come on back. And that's all she would do with the car. And her mileage was terrible. And you want to make sure, do you really need to? Take a bite, go for a walk. Those are great ideas. I tend to go out for walks. If I don't have to take the car out, I'm just going to walk to it. I walk to the Walmart every once in a while. Yeah, I go to Walmart. Or I go to the coffee shop. I'll just walk to the coffee shop instead of driving when I don't need to. All right.
And go for a walk. It's a beautiful day today. So get the exercise, make your doctor happy, and save a little bit of gas.